people. Oh, yes, people. Hope everyone is good. Yeah, just tactical breakdown. Things I haven't done one in a while. They do take time, so I'd appreciate if you could, do the usual. They do take a long time. But yeah, just things we need to improve for next game. Things we need to get better. Things we need to repeat in training, consistently go through to get better because it weren't good enough for me. And I'll go through it right now. I just want to say quickly before I get into it, people that in the comments that are saying, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? You should do that. Guys, this isn't my job. I've got about an hour today to do a video. I could make 10 videos about one subject. I just don't have the time. This isn't my job. This is just something I do on the side. All right? So please appreciate that. But apart from that, thank you for everyone who shows support. Legendary. But let's get into it. So yeah, it's the movement of the front four for me. I was not happy with it at all, for the most part. And yeah, I'll go through why. So here's the first situation. Rodon is back here just off screen. He plays a long ball through to Pirro. We've seen that one before. I like that one. It bypasses their entire team. And actually, looking at our shape here, it's not bad. Pirro comes off the back line, which drags this defender out. Yeah, drags him out, which creates a little bit of space here between the lines for whoever to run into. Now, the problem here is, and you'll see how that progresses, ideally, Nonto should be a little bit higher. Just so earlier on in the move, these guys are questioning him, and they've got to rush out, potentially. And then, obviously, if he's if he's quicker here, you might see the Dan James run earlier. But because he's further back, he has to drive before he makes a decision. So ideally, Nonto was a little bit further forward. But generally speaking, you've got, Aronson, Pirro, Nonto, James, Bogle, all on different lines, which creates more angles, which creates more decisions for defenders. So that's not bad. I don't mind the shape. Just a little higher from Nonto, just to make the decision quicker, ideally. But anyway, he gets the ball, Nonto gets the ball, and he comes out wide with it. And this was the issue all game, mate. So already, Byram's obviously right-footed. He's not a natural outside left-back, right? He's right-footed. He cuts inside naturally, as does Nonto, by the way. Now, the issue here is space. It's all about space, finding spaces. First instance, the first problem, the second Byram darts in there where the black arrow is. The red is Nonto, the black is Byram. Byram darts into that position in there. Now, what that does, in theory, is occupy this defender. Now, if Nonto is quick to react to Byram going in there, Nonto will quickly drive down the line as a result. Byram darts in there, Nonto drives into this space. What that does is, as this defender is quickly occupied by Byram for maybe 2 or 3 seconds, it gives Nonto a 1v1 situation with the fullback to drive into this massive space. Because this isn't a low block, people. People think it's a low block. It isn't. This isn't. It's a high line. Look at the spaces between each other. This is not a low block. Not even close. There is so much space to exploit with quick and decisive movement. Now, the problem was the movement wasn't quick or decisive. That was the issue. So as Byram tucks in there, instantly, Nonto's reaction should be, as soon as he goes, boom, I'm driving into that space that he vacated. I'm going 1v1 with the winger and running past him in all this space. All this space. But we don't do that, and that's the issue all the weekend. So what happens is Byram darts inside, and now you're looking at this. Nonto's deeper. He's got cover. You could still probably go 1v1. But again, we don't do it. And it's the reaction of the players and the movement. The big yellow box is the spaces to exploit in this situation. And again, Byram's movement could have been quicker and more decisive, but the understanding of when Byram tucks in, you go wide, quick 1v1, space, should have been in the brain, instant. But it wasn't. So Nonto's still in the same position. Right? Byram's made that run in there to occupy this guy. He's pointing, look, he's going to go out there. That should have already happened. He's pointing now, saying what he's going to do. The move, in order for a move to work effectively and to be a team that's on the same wavelength, you have to do it instantly. The defender's now pointing. Look, this guy is pointing. He's telling this guy where Nonto's going. If we'd have done it straight away and quickly, there's no pointing in. He's already done it. We're already past. And that's the problem. We were hesitant We didn't make the right decisions. So now you're looking at a situation where Byron's made that run and he's just kind of stood there now. He's not really affecting anything. He's not doing anything. Nonto's not made a decision on where he's going. Perrault's not moved into any spaces to get the ball. Perrault's not made a running behind to create spaces or break the lines. There's nothing there. And we move into the next situation. So Byron drops a little deeper, okay, onto this guy. So now Nonto's in a 2v1 here and can't really go down the line. It's kind of blocked off because there's 3 defenders that are waiting for him to do that. And this is what annoys me again. Byron is now pointing, telling Joe Perrault to make that run in there. So he's telling him to do it. He's not just done it. He needs to do it. It should be instinctive. The second Nonto comes inside, these 3 guys are concentrating on Nonto. Perrault has to make that darting run. Has to. And if Perrault vacates that space in here, that's when Aronson needs to react and get into this space. If Perrault makes that run out there, Nonto can maybe even try finding him through the gap. Or if anything, it creates a space. It vacates the space. And it stretches the back line. It gets them thinking. Again, we don't do that. Now, Nonto tucks in again. He makes that movement. Finally makes a decisive movement after they've got 6 guys back. And Perrault, this is what annoys me. Perrault makes the movement now. When this guy has come over. So there's no space anymore for him. This was the time to do it. But he does it when they've compacted and they've dropped deeper and there's no spaces anymore. Look, this is now more of a block. Look. No spaces. So he makes that run. But even when he makes that run, Aronson doesn't react. So Perrault vacates that space. Aronson should react to that. That will drag this defender, which will create space in this area for Aronson to receive it in a dangerous position. You don't do that. Perrault makes the run too late. Anyway, it could be a dummy run, that's fine. But Aronson doesn't react to that run. And this is my point. Nothing was decisive. It was all reactionary. And it was too late because they were on it and they were in a good shape. It's got to be done quicker. That's what it looked like. That's what it should look like. Because Perrault should have made the run earlier and been more decisive. Because, by the way, when he made that run, he stopped. He didn't actually break the line. He just stopped around this area. So he didn't do anything. Aronson should have come into that space that he vacated. So now you've got space here. And now you're making this guy ask questions. 1v1. Win a foul. Maybe even a little 1-2. This is the situation here. Nonto's on the ball in this area, right? You can't break the line. There's 3 guys covering. This is where the decisive movement has to come in. Byram's occupying the 8. Perrault in this space either has to receive it or he has to break that line. What that does, it attracts him away and it creates space for Aronson to receive. That's the space. And if Perrault's made that run, Aronson can then thread one through and then you're creating something. You're breaking their line. Or it could just be a pure dummy run from Perrault and Aronson can drive at the defender at the edge of the box. Point being, you're creating combinations, you're creating opportunities, you're breaking the line, you're getting beyond the defenders, you're making them think about it. As opposed to everything being to feet. When everything's in front of them, it's easy. It's the little decisions. So yeah, as a result, this is the situation now. No decisive movement, no breaking of lines, no aggressive running behind, no one on the same wavelength, all reactionary, not proactive. Not us looking, there's no one in the spaces now, they've got back. 3 players just stood nowhere, not affecting anything. We go back. From this situation, group of wrong decisions, indecisive runs equal this situation. That's alright, that happens in football, okay? You don't always get it right. The same move, by the way, this is the next bit. This is the same move. Rodon gets it at the back. Stuff happens, we progress it forward, and we end up in this situation here. Alright? I'll move my head a little bit. We end up in this situation here. Aronson comes wide this time. Nonto's on the other side of the pitch. He's left the space. He's vacated it. Good. That's made a space. Amundsen, the red, has brought this midfielder out of the space. Byron stayed wide. That's created a nice big area for Tanaka to play with. Now again, the decisive movement to the final third is the problem again. The second that ball goes to Tanaka, second that's on the way, Amundsen's run, he should be busting a gut to get on this guy's shoulder. Get on this guy's shoulder. Right here. Create an option. Break the line. Stretch them. Whatever it does, there is space in behind for the ball. Again, this is not a low block. People tell me it's people saying on Jaws it was a low block. Couldn't break it down. This isn't a low block. Nothing like a low block. This is just a shape defensively. Or if it is a low block, we've broken it because there's no space in the middle. The low block, there's no space here. That's not a low block. Watch the worst one you've ever seen, which it isn't, because they're well coached. Now, it doesn't do that. The second Tanaka gets that ball, so look at Tanaka, by the way. Look at his head. He's already looking forward. By the way, he's already looking forward. Where are them options? He's looking. There's just Dan James. He gets that ball, and as you can see, as he passes it, Amundsen's position isn't affecting any defenders. Amundsen should have been here. He should have been stretching that, making that run. And Perot should have been deeper, this area. What that does is take this defender out, which creates more space in behind for the ball from Tanaka to Dan James. But the move isn't quick enough, it's not decisive enough. That's the problem. Again. So here it is, Tanaka with the ball there. He gets the ball here. Amundsen's too deep. Amundsen needs to be doing this. Because not only then does that drag him out, obviously Perot had a guy there, but it creates spaces to run into. Because Amundsen isn't bothering it, Five's just got an easy little run of it. He can cover anything. If Amundsen really pushes onto him, he has to make a decision, or he's an option for the ball. Tanaka can play that one in there. Likewise, the second Tanaka gets that ball early, Perot's over here for some reason. Second he gets it, that should be his run. Drag that guy out. Drag that defender out. Because now, the ball to James, which he does, has more space. Problem was, Perot wasn't deep enough. So the ball to James has less space. Perot's higher, more space. You see? More space to take a touch. As opposed to working in the box, you've got this little area here. And again, this was just the decisiveness. This was the decision making of the front four for me. And these were I genuinely just skipped to a random time we had possession and we created a chance and just watched that one. I've not picked this one out. You could go, there's loads in the game. Almost any minute of the game. Sometimes we get it right. Sometimes Tanaka or Rupp will get the ball and they're literally trying to thread it through not even a needle to try find an attacker because there's no option. There's no depth in behind. And Mateo Joseph came on and did stuff like that, but his touch wasn't on it. Right? And you need that. So yeah. Decision making, being decisive, breaking them back line, break them, run at them, stretch them, make them think, give them decisions to make. Be proactive, not reactive. The biggest issues in this Leeds team. And obviously, they won the header then because look at the space Dan James is working in. The ball was never going to get to him. So they countered and Bogle gets yellow card because of our lax decision making for me. You see? Perot has to be deeper. Bring this guy out. Bring him out. Amundsen has to be on this guy, the centre-back. Make him make a decision. Create space for Dan James just off picture, making that run. So he can make the run in this area, not just up here. We didn't do it. We're too reactive, not proactive in the game. And these are things we'll figure out. These are things the manager will go through. We'll watch the clips like we did today, but in more detail and actual footage, not just screenshots. They'll go through other situations and they'll say and they'll work on it, training, they'll replicate. That's how it works usually. Now, people telling me this is Daniel Farke's tactics. Daniel Farke is not telling Joel Perot to not make a run and hide. He's not telling Aronson to don't bother the defenders. You just hide in this little space here and don't be an option. He's not saying that. Every single week, compared to the front four, we see them doing these runs. We see them making these decisions. This game, they didn't. And that's football. That happens. Sometimes the players just don't quite, not on the same wavelength. We're not a great team. We're a good team. We're not great. To be a great team, you have to work on it, and you have to have the top elite mentality players to do the right things. Especially when it's this technical. We do it every week. We do it well every week. I can do videos, tactical breakdowns every week if I had time, if there weren't 3 games in a week, on how well we've done things. And I will do that in the future when there's a game week, when I've got a week to do it. But there's also games it doesn't work. And this is just expressing how the players can make those decisions on the pitch. Right? It's simple as that. They've made the decision in this situation from Tanaka to go over to James, and it's a good decision. But it's a better decision if Joe Perreault decides to drop deeper, which he does. Aronson attacks the last defender, which he does, which creates more space. No manager in the world is telling players not make runs. That doesn't make any sense. It's on the freedom of the front players. All the front players need to be coached, but all the front players also need to have an ounce of freedom to make those decisions. You can't baby every single decision. The coach is on the sideline. They have to make those decisions on the pitch. They know what they need to do, and I've been part of teams where we work all week on making certain runs, and the players are doing it week in, week out at training. They're doing it, and you're talking to other coaches and going, "Oh, we're going to be good tomorrow. This is it. The movements worked, the patterns worked." And it comes to the game, and they don't do it. It happens, and then there's games where they do it, and they look insane. It's football. That's fine. Just make sure you keep working on it and understand what went wrong. You learn from what went wrong. Why we didn't really create too much chances. This is not a block. We're not playing against a low block here. How can it be? Look, there's many players beyond the ball. This big spaces. This was us not being decisive in transition or in possession. That's all. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. All right, get it. Just people, like to over-exaggerate the role the manager can do on the pitch. And look, just my personal experience from what I've seen. Maybe other people have seen different, but it's very, very, very difficult to change anything on the pitch from the player perspective, apart from at half-time, when you can literally show them the things. But even then, it's down to them to make decisions. In any sport in the world, the coach can do so much. In fact, football is one of the only sports in the world, by the way, where the coach is on the sideline. Look at tennis, look at rugby, for example. The coaches are in the stands. They can look at them and they can nod at them and they can say, "Come on." But the tactical instruction that they've worked on all week at training is on the players. They are the players. They are the performers. The coach is there to train them. The match day is the players' day. You've worked all week and prepared all week for the opposition. The players have to get that right in practice. It's that simple. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think anyway. I appreciate everyone's support as usual. Yeah, I can't lie, people, I'll be honest. If people are still here, it's tough at the moment to do these videos because there's not much I really, I'm just not that bothered. It's fine, it's a point. I don't create these reactions for the sake of YouTube, or I just don't care. That's why I didn't do a match reaction. I've not done player ratings. It was just a fine game. It was whatever. Let's just get on with it. But as this little aspect I've seen people talking about this week, and I thought, right, I'm going to mention that and give my 2 pence on it. So, yeah. I'm not going to fake any reactions, or if I don't feel it, I'm not going to do it. Like I said, this is not my job. This is just something I do as a hobby. If I'm not feeling it, I'm not going to upload. But I appreciate everyone who's here when I am. You're all legendary. Thank you for the support. I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye.